Most people want success. They dream about it, they scroll through it, they talk about it. But very few people are actually building it. And the gap between those two groups is not talent, it's not money, it's not timing, it's mindset. Today, I'm going to give you the exact shift in thinking that separates struggling entrepreneurs from successful business owners. And by the end of this video, you'll never approach your work the same way again. So stay with me. This one matters. Here's something nobody tells you when you start a business. Most of us were trained from school, from our first jobs, to think like employees. To show up, do the task, get the reward. Effort in, paycheck out. That's a fair trade. But it is not how business works. In business, you can work harder than anyone around you and still fail. You can pour yourself into a product and watch it go nowhere. You can sacrifice weekends and still see your competitor win. And that is absolutely crushing until you understand why it happens. The employee brain asks, "What do I need to do today?" The business brain asks, "What problem am I solving for whom and why should they pay me to solve it?" That is the entire shift. That one question. When you stop thinking about your tasks and start thinking about your value in the market, everything changes. Your decisions change. Your conversations change. Even the way you spend an hour of your day changes. You are no longer just working. You are building. Pillar 1, clarity. You cannot build what you cannot describe. I want you to think about your business right now. Can you answer these 3 questions in one sentence each? 1. Who is your customer? 2. What specific problem do you solve? 3. Why are you the right person or company to solve it? If you hesitated on any of those, that's your homework after this video. Because a blurry vision leads to blurry results. Investors don't fund confusion. Customers don't buy confusion. You can't execute confusion. Clarity is not a luxury, it is the foundation. Pillar 2, courage, not the movie kind, not the dramatic kind. The quiet, daily courage to make decisions under uncertainty, to launch when you're not 100% ready, to charge what you're worth, to say no to a client who drains you, to pivot when your original plan isn't working. Fear is normal, every entrepreneur feels it. The difference is that successful business owners act alongside the fear, not after it disappears. Because here's the truth, the fear never fully disappears. You just get better at moving with it. Pillar 3, consistency. This is where most people fall. They go hard for 2 weeks, then life gets in the way, then they restart, then they stop again. The cycle repeats. The business never builds momentum. Consistency is not about being perfect every day. It's about never letting the gap between action and inaction grow too wide. One call made today is worth more than 10 calls imagined tomorrow. One post published today beats the perfect post you never wrote. Small, consistent actions compound, just like interest in a bank account. Over months and years, they become unstoppable. Let's talk about money, because motivation without practical grounding is just entertainment. Here is a truth that will save you years. Revenue solves almost every problem in your business. The absence of revenue creates almost every problem. I know that sounds simple. But watch how many entrepreneurs avoid the act of selling. They perfect the logo. They redesign the website. They attend networking events. They plan, research, optimize. And they do not ask for the sale. Selling is not manipulation. Selling is not pressure. Selling, at its core, is communicating value clearly to someone who needs it. If you genuinely believe your product or service improves someone's life or business, then not telling them about it is the selfish act. Think about that. Every day you don't promote, every day you stay quiet, every day you avoid the pitch. That's a day someone who needed your solution went without it. Your job as a business owner is to close that gap, to connect your solution to the right people, confidently and consistently. Get comfortable being the person who talks about their business. Openly, proudly, frequently. Revenue follows visibility, visibility follows boldness. I want to speak to the person watching this who is in a difficult season right now. Maybe your numbers are down, maybe a launch failed, maybe you're questioning whether this whole thing was a mistake. Let me tell you something important. Difficulty is not a signal to quit. It is a signal to diagnose. When something isn't working, the answer isn't usually to give up. The answer is to ask better questions. Is my offer clear? Am I reaching the right audience? Is my pricing aligned with my market? Am I consistent enough for momentum to build? Most businesses don't fail because the idea was bad. They fail because the owner stopped before the compound effect kicked in. They stopped at month 4 of a 12-month curve. There is a concept I want you to remember. The growth you don't see is still happening. When a tree is growing underground, building its root system, nothing looks different from the surface. Then one season it explodes upward, rapidly, visibly. Your consistency right now, even when results are invisible, is your root system. Don't cut it down, stay, adjust, improve, push. So what does this actually look like day to day? I'll give you a simple framework. 3 questions to answer every single morning. Question 1. What is the one thing I can do today that brings money closer? Not busy work, not admin, not reorganizing your desk. The thing that generates revenue, a call, a proposal, a post that attracts clients, a follow-up. Question 2. What did I learn yesterday that I can apply today? Successful business owners are always students. Every interaction, every result, every failure teaches something. Mine it. Question 3. Am I showing up as the person I want to become or as the person I am afraid to be? This one is deeper. Because often the version of you that wins in business is just slightly bolder, slightly more disciplined, slightly more confident than who you are today. That version isn't out of reach. It's built daily, decision by decision. Be that person today even if it feels like acting at first. Soon it will simply be who you are. The business that changes your life is built in the ordinary moments. The phone call you make when you don't feel like it. The content you post when you don't know if anyone is watching. The meeting you prepare for even though you're nervous. Those moments stacked over time are what success is actually made of. Not the highlight reel, not the overnight story. The quiet, relentless work of someone who decided to build something real. That can be you. That is you if you choose it every day. If this gave you something today, subscribe. I put out content every week to help you think sharper, sell better, and build a business that actually works. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. I read every one. Now go build something.